Like usually, your face isn't visible, and I'm not in focus.
That's great filmmaking.
Yeah, very artistic.
And in this case, now we're just both not visible.
And both not in focus.
Just not in
What am I
focus.
doing? I was just gonna...
Are you okay to record?
Yeah.
You sure?
I'm as good as it gets. Okay, we start with a quote though, right?
Do we?
I don't know. Do we not?
I think we should top it off with an advert,
Okay.
but we should break in between so that we can like do one bit at a time.
Okay, so the advert first, and then
we'll break, and then we can start with the actual show.
This podcast is brought to you by
Bob's Ball Powder.
Bob's Ball Powder, the only powder fit for taking care of your balls.
Fritz, seriously, are you still shaving your balls, or are you using ball powder?
I'm a bit of a shaving and ball powder man, because you know that feeling once you've, trimmed the forest a bit. Everything feels so naked, everything feels so fresh and yet so moist.
It's horrible.
Right? So what you want is Bob's Ball Powder, available in 4 flavors. Bubblegum, cherry tea, licorice, and natural.
Absolutely. And I mean, I must admit, I'm a classic guy. I always go for the natural, mostly because it's just what my girlfriend likes as well. Because she's really anti-licorice. But I mean, I can only highly recommend it. Like you, get rid of the main bush with a shaver, right?
Yes.
And then, like a normal person, you powder your balls before you go to work,
Yes.
after exercise, and in the evening.
For a
you got
nice
them
cycle.
Sweet-smelling balls.
Sweet smelling balls all day. That's a 12-hour guarantee that only Bob's Ball Powder will give you.
If you go to bobsballpowder.com today, you add in, how do I rob this? You can get 20% off your first order of Bob's Ball Powder.
That'll save you on so many balls. The only improvement I would suggest for Bob's Ball Powder is if it were called Bob's Ball Powder.
Yeah, that would be better, but they didn't quite get the alliteration right.
Okay, on with the show.
Actually, to get my Coke.
Yes, you do need to get your Coke. That's amazing.
And by that I mean cocaine. Oh god, I've really painted myself into a corner here.
Oops. Oh, sorry, I couldn't really help. Bob's Ball.
Why look for conspiracy when stupidity can explain so much?
There's only 2 men I trust. One of them's me, and the other's not you.
And thus, welcome to How Do I Rob This, the podcast where we plan the perfect heist. With me, as always, is
Oscar Brown.
And I am SM Weisbach. Why am I would always start with my social media handle?
I don't know.
Off the rails. I'm Sebastian. Hey.
You're Sebastian.
Everyone.
There you are.
I just winked into the wrong camera. I'm Sebastian Weisbach, and we are 2 gentlemen thieves planning the perfect heist. In every episode, one of us will bring something to steal or someone to steal from. As always, we've got 3 rules. Number 1, we always have to get away with it. Number 2, we don't kill people. And number 3, we only steal from people that deserve to be stolen from.
Oh, and these people, this person deserves to be stolen from.
Is it Elon Musk?
It's
finally?
not Elon Musk. We're
Fuck
keeping
Elon Musk.
I mean, we could just do
he's-
so much stealing from Elon Musk.
It's so infuriating, Elon Musk news. It's have you read about his brain transplant?
Yes, with
He's
the pig.
planning? Yes.
It was also
I
surprisingly
wouldn't
the
want
most
a pig transplanted into my...
You don't get a
brain.
pig transplanted into your brain.
That would be a better and more workable idea than whatever Elon Musk's company is doing. Has any of his inventions, I mean,
The rocket works.
loosely his inventions,
Yes.
ever worked properly?
The rocket.
But by what percentage? 1 in 10.
Yeah, but I mean, they literally put people in space. I'd say that worked.
You know what?
And I think that-
technically we're all in space.
yes, this sounds like flat earther talk now. Look, don't worry, we will steal from him one day. I promise you. I promise you. Like, it's gonna happen.
I've already envisioned a thumbnail.
Yeah.
Spectacular.
Right.
Chef's
Back
kiss. Yes, I'm
to
sorry.
what we're stealing tonight, on this day. But we have to go back in time first. We have to go back in time to a specific day
Mm-hmm.
when Tim, Nicholas, Kevin, Christopher, Chris, and
Too many-
Sandra.
Oh, I thought it was just one guy. And
No.
I was like, too many first names.
No.
Tim, Alan, Christopher.
Yes, that would be. Yeah, no. This one's Tim, Nicholas, Kevin, Christopher, Chris, and Sandra.
Yes.
All sit in one room. Now, that's a very vague clue.
Is it a sex party?
But I'm going to. It might be, and you never know. This is funny when I reveal a little
Can you
bit
give me the
more
names
about
again?
this. Yes,
Tim,
I can.
Christopher?
Tim, Nicholas, Kevin, Christopher, Chris, and Sandra.
I want to say it's Nicolas Cage, Sandra Bullock, Tim Allen, Christopher. Oh, there are no famous Christophers. Columbus. Nicolas
Yes,
Cage,
definitely.
Christopher
Columbus.
Columbus.
Yes, it's good job. Yeah. It's close. It's pretty close. Yeah. So I'm gonna, just to set the tone a little
Yes.
bit. Okay. The year is 1997.
Mm-hmm.
You are 12 years old, as is Elon Musk.
You're kidding me.
No,
right?
I think he's a bit older than us,
Good.
actually. Yeah. But he was also alive at that point. Bill Clinton is the president of the United
Yes.
States. He just gets elected to his second
Fresh
term.
off the saxophone.
Yeah. Dolly the sheep is cloned.
Mm-hmm.
Pathfinder lands on Mars.
Yes.
Right? Hong Kong, this is very topical, kills 1.25 million chickens to stop the spread of a deadly influenza strain. Yeah, forget that. I don't remember that happening.
Good point. No,
Yeah.
I mean...
This is a fun fact as well. In Japan, over 700 children suffer epileptic attacks due to an episode
Pokemon.
of Pokemon.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember that?
I remember the episode. I mean, I didn't have it. I remember it being in the news. It was also referenced on The Simpsons.
Yeah, no, we didn't have Pokemon in South Africa.
Yeah.
Only much later. It's also the year that
It's a non-native species.
Princess Diana dies.
Yes.
She also happens to die that year. No.
Hmm.
Titanic becomes the highest grossing film of all time.
Yes. Still?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but then it was the most.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think corrected for inflation, it's like Gone with the Wind or something.
I'm a Barbie Girl.
You are in a Barbie world.
Everybody by the Backstreet Boys, Mbop and Candle in the Wind are top hits from 1997.
One of those songs would not have happened without Princess Di dying.
Yeah, it's Mbop.
It's Mbop.
It's definitely Mbop. But most importantly,
Yes.
Sebastian,
Yeah.
most importantly, something that is almost entirely unconceivable to our understanding of the way the world works today. Nicolas Cage
Yes.
is considered one of the sexiest men alive.
What?
Yes. So we're going back to a very specific day because
Not the bees! Not the bees!
reportedly Nick
Yes.
Cage has one day off in between finishing the shoot for Con Air and directly starting filming on Face Off. And on this day in 1997, Nicolas Cage has a meeting with Tim Burton,
Yes.
Kevin
For
Spacey,
Superman.
Christopher Walken, Chris Rock, and Sandra Bullock to try on the costume for
Superman.
Superman.
Okay, yeah, now I... Have you seen the costume?
Yes.
Does he own it? Is that a thing?
Someone owns it.
I think... Okay, so for everyone who doesn't know, Tim Burton, fresh-ish off the success of the two Batman films,
Yep.
Batman and Batman Returns, was considered to direct a Superman film. Like,
Yeah.
who better to direct a Superman film, like the beacon of hope, the American dream personified, than Tim Burton? It was, and yeah, he cast. There are costume tests.
Yeah, there's a lot of content.
Nick Cage in long, luscious black hair, kind of like mine today.
Yes, kind of like yours. Even longer, in fact. Yeah.
In a oddly shiny latex suit.
It's a thing of
so
beauty.
shiny.
It's a thing of beauty.
like
It's
greasy
actually,
bacon.
It's everything that happened in the 90s encapsulated in one costume. Like it's really, I mean, it's like it's Miami condensed into one thing.
Bienvenido a Miami.
It's beautiful.
no,
It's
it's a
all
bit
those
like-
songs that I
yes.
mentioned in
Yeah.
one costume.
It's
It screams
Okay.
"Candle in the Wind," "Mbop," and "I'm a Barbie Girl" at the
it's-
same time.
it's very like post, because I think it was supposed to be kind of like a post death of Superman thing.
Yes.
Who I believe in the comics at this point had already died, killed by Doomsday,
Yes.
as sort of weirdly encapsulated into the Batman v Superman film.
Correct.
And yeah, Nick Cage was supposed to be shiny Superman.
Yeah.
Never happened. I don't know. I don't remember why.
I'm not exactly sure why either, but I mean, it got really far. I mean, they were really close to starting filming. There was a lot of, the locations were set. It was all ready to roll. And then it just sort of fell apart after 1 year of pre-production.
Kevin Smith wrote this, right?
Oh, I'm
was
not
supposed
sure,
to,
actually.
because I need to look up the greatest tweet of all time, as tweeted by Kevin Smith.
The greatest tweet of all time.
Yes.
Does it pertain to this story?
No, but it's very important for you as a human being.
Right. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, tweeted on July 9th of 2009
Right.
for the 10-year anniversary with his wife.
Okay.
10 years in, and we bone like we're cheating on each other with each other. A decade plus, and her clit/brown/taint area still pawns my dick.
What? Did he get hacked?
I don't think so. So he at one point,
I'm shocked.
as far as I know, claimed. That's why I don't like Kevin Smith. His films are terrible.
What? Well, explain more. What happened in this tweet?
Supposedly, he said it was a bet with his wife, who said he wouldn't tweet something like that.
And then he did.
Yeah, but then again, like,
They're divorced now.
I mean, it's
They didn't make.
To be fair, like, it's still online.
Yeah.
the tweet,
Okay. Fair
so-
enough. Yeah. I mean,
I got that off of Twitter, so
that's crazy.
whatever it is, now you know.
Now I know
Now
that.
your eyes are
I
as
know that.
tainted as Kevin Smith's wife's taint.
Yes. So he might have written the film. I don't know. In any case, it didn't end
He's
up
a comic
getting
writer.
made. But all these guys got together. I mean, this. Think of that cask.
Yes.
The cask. I mean, the
cask.
cask. But just the combination of them. So
Yeah.
it's a bit fictitious. They didn't all get up in a room to watch him dress up as Superman, unfortunately. But I just love the idea. I love the idea of Lois Lane as Sandra Bullock as Lois Lane.
That would have worked quite well in the 90s.
But once again, you have to. That's why it was so important to get into that mindset of 1997, where Nick Cage is one of the sexiest men alive. Like he wasn't the most officially. He wasn't
Yeah.
officially the sexiest man alive. That ended up being what's his name?
Harrison Ford.
No, ER.
Ryan Gosling.
He was in ER.
George Clooney.
George Clooney. Yeah, there you go. But ER George Clooney, not later. I'm a Hollywood film star
Yeah.
George Clooney. Yeah, and I mean, just mind blowing. Just a mind blowing cast.
I think though that
Christopher Walken is the bad guy,
not Kevin Spacey,
and
he
Kevin
didn't-
Spacey. Both of them. They're both the bad guys. What?
because Kevin Spacey ultimately was Lex Luthor in Superman Returns,
Oh, of course.
filmed by real life bad guy Bryan Singer.
Oh yeah. An actual bad man.
It's and featuring actual bad man Kevin Spacey.
Yes.
Oh man,
And Chris Rock is in it as well. Just to add some like.
Chris Rock.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Have you-
I'd have to Google again who exactly he
haven't
was supposed
seen
to
it.
play.
Okay,
No one's seen it. No one's seen the film. The film wasn't made.
I've seen bits and pieces.
How?
You mean that one?
Yes.
You mean the 1997
The
one?
1997
Okay,
one, the one that was
I thought
never
you meant
made.
Superman Returns.
No.
Okay.
No. The one I'm talking about the film
Yeah.
that was never made. The one where they
Chris
made a
Rock.
costume and put
You would have been a child then.
Chris Rock?
No, he's been around forever.
He's been around for. He's old. He's an old man now. He's got crutches. He's got a walker.
Okay. I certainly think though that there would have been people in the room to help Nick Cage into the suit, because like these rubber and latex things, they're notoriously difficult to get into and get out of.
You can't get out of him. He's still wearing the suit to this day. They had to cut him out. They had to rather make a new Nick Cage.
It honestly would not surprise me if he owned the suit, because he seems to be one to collect memorabilia.
Well,
I think he had a Velociraptor skeleton.
He went really bankrupt. He went he went as bankrupt as a man can go. The 1997 was this man's highest high point. Think of it. He did Con Air. He did Face Off.
Face Off was a terrible film.
Both of them are actually terrible films. They
I
great.
kind of fondly remember Con Air as like this peak Bay before he became peak Bay.
Yeah. And Bruckheimer.
Oh yeah.
I mean, watching Con Air, I'm just like, wow, like there was so much cocaine on the set. Like the whole film must have just been fueled by cocaine. And then to go directly into Face Off. I mean, you've got to watch these films actually as like a double feature.
Because John Cusack and John Malkovich both are in Con Air, if I recall correctly. Did they film Being John Malkovich before that or after?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good thing. That's a good question.
Okay, and it literally doesn't matter. I studied film, by the way.
But they went directly into shooting Face Off.
Yeah.
Like he had no time to create a new character, which he obviously didn't. If you watch it,
does he ever?
Well, I mean, but look at him. I mean, Face Off is great because like he plays. Oh no, I don't know. I can't actually put it into words.
Both John Travolta and Nick Cage are so bad in this film.
But they're playing each other.
I think they're still bad.
Yeah.
Does John Woo, or did John Woo at that point speak a word of English?
No.
Yeah, that's my theory. My theory is John Woo, fresh out of Hong Kong cinema, came into Hollywood, got offered Face Off, a film which, I don't know, the script probably has been lying around since the 80s.
Yeah.
No, I think it actually did. I think that was originally supposed to be two other actors.
I'm sure it was.
That sounds like something that I vaguely remember. Kind of like one of those, I don't know, Sean Connery, Ian McKellen situations.
Yeah.
John Woo did it in his typical style. Didn't really care for the script because, like, he's more of a stylistic director anyway. Yeah. Doesn't talk to Cage or Travolta.
Or he might shout at them the whole time, but like they. But also, I mean, you've got to remember, like Travolta and Cage at this point, they peak. Like they're at their peak. They do not take direction. You know, they just are. Like they just come on set and they just are the absolute best. So I mean, you could have put any director there, but like these guys were out of control. Like there's no ways John Woo's coming over to do his first film in Hollywood and then be like, hey, Nick Cage, could you maybe just dial it down
to
like
11?
To like a lot? And like, could you guys maybe just talk to each other and maybe like study each other to see when you're playing each other that, you know, we can work with this? I mean, it's insane. So then, like, this is his peak year, right? So he's got those two films. He's going to be Superman. I mean, he's going to be like, that's like, I mean, of all most famous roles in the world, like there's Jesus, then there's Superman, and then there's the Count of Monte Cristo. I don't know, you know, like I'm making this up as I'm going along, but like it's a top role.
Yes.
Okay, and
directed by Tim Burton, who also then was still very hot, hadn't produced a flop.
Yeah, that's true.
By 97.
That's true. So I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
So he's just at his absolute peak, and after that, it completely derails. His whole life falls apart. He goes... I mean, this is the man who ended up doing Knight Rider.
What?
Yes, what's Knight Rider? I hear you ask.
No, Nick Cage did Knight Rider?
Not Knight Rider. I don't know what it's called. Ghost Rider?
Ghost Rider,
yeah. Which is... So he had to end up doing, like, terrible films
for
money.
No. Yes, Ghost Rider is a terrible film.
Yes.
But Nick Cage, obsessed with Ghost Rider, has a Ghost Rider tattoo.
Oh, he did not.
I shit thee not.
He had to get that for money. Like,
no.
He was like,
no,
I will do the movie for 1 million and I will also do the tattoo for 5,000 because I need 5,000 cash right now.
Sometimes actors will just be, for whatever reason, be super obsessed with like a random... Like Tom Hardy is super obsessed with Venom for whatever reason. which is why he played Venom. The same
No,
situation.
it's not. He did Venom because he got a lot of money
No,
for it. Of
no,
course
no.
he did.
Tom Hardy's obsessed with Venom.
Right.
Nick Cage is obsessed with Ghost Rider. You just pick a random superhero. You start this weird obsession as a Hollywood star, and at some point you'll get offered the role.
That's not the way it
And
works.
that's how you campaign.
That's not the way it works.
We'll do that in research
Well, so
if we ever get there.
but he fell apart. He had to sell his mansion.
Yes.
He sold his Velociraptor. He sold everything. So even if he did have the costume, and he definitely did at some point,
Yes.
he doesn't own it anymore. Like, we're not stealing this from Nick
No.
Cage. We're stealing it from Universal
Okay.
or whoever.
So it's
owns
on the
it.
Universal lot.
one of the big companies. Yeah.
Universal, by the way, that's at this point in time famous for trying to build a monster movie franchise. I don't know if this is
A monster movie? You mean like as
somewhere
in Monsters
past
Inc.?
No. Yeah, it's difficult to explain. It's kind of they want to start their own Avengers with Universal Film Monsters.
I hate superhero movies.
Yep. Hang on. Wait till you hear the gist of it.
Okay.
So, they originally tried to start this with Luke Evans in Dracula Untold. And they were hinting at this larger cinematic Dracula monster universe. Dracula Untold famously flopped. So
I
like,
didn't even see that.
we'll try again. And I'm like, we'll try again. This time with Tom Cruise as the Mummy in Tom Cruise's The Mummy.
Oh goodness!
So they didn't.
I skipped
go with
that
Brandon.
one.
They didn't go with Brendan Fraser's The Mummy,
Which was a huge
the perfect
miss.
film. Yes.
Which is the perfect film.
Yes,
Let's just
100.
say,
I recently saw that. It's
aged well.
except for the CGI.
George of the Jungle, not so much, but the Mummy
okay.
definitely. Talking about Brendan Fraser.
I'm keen to see Bedazzled again.
Yes.
At some point. No, okay. So the Mummy also failed, but at that point in time,
You mean Tom Cruise's Mummy?
Yes, Tom Cruise's Mummy. At
Your
that point in
mother.
time, it's already introduced Russell Crowe as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which is funny because he is both.
Yes, that's true. You mean like Thin Russell, Fat Russell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thin Russell and John Goodman Russell. So they tried again. They failed again. So their next stop was, and that's a good horror film, though, but I'm not sure. So the theory is they kind of might sneakily weave that into their shared universe, which they still might
Which one?
start. The Invisible Man, which is a straight-out horror film.
The one that just recently came
Yeah.
out? Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah.
How are they going to weave that in there?
I don't know. They'll find a way. If they
Also, there's
think
no longer
it makes
it's
the
an
money.
invisible woman.
Yeah.
I mean, this is great for all like feminist casting. Like,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
great. We'll just have an invisible woman in the show. Like, sorry, you're not in this shot.
The invisible
You're
woman,
not in this shot
The invisible
either.
woman is a metaphor for how women are treated in the workplace.
Yes.
By Russell Crowe.
Oh,
And so anyway, they already had did this photo op with all the actors who were supposed to play like the famous monsters,
except for Invisible Woman.
except for Invisible. No, I think Johnny Depp was originally cast as the Invisible Man, or as the monster from the Blue Lagoon. They also had to photograph them individually because they couldn't get them all up for the same photo ad on the same day.
Because of
So they-
Corona?
no, that was pre-Corona, just
Okay.
scheduling, and they had to composite them all together. Angelina Jolie.
In Maleficent?
And in Maleficent, maybe. Penelope Cruz.
In
Javier Bardem. I think one of them is the monster from the Blue Lagoon. I think Javier Bardem is Frankenstein's creature.
this is all. This all
I know
sounds
none
terrible.
of this. I know. I
And
know.
none of
That's-
this exists, but all of
and
this
no one wants to see it.
is
That's
it
also
is it
a
all
thing.
being made, and is it all going to?
The photo exists.
It's gonna happen. I mean, here they. But all these actors. Sorry, I have to come back to your
Yes.
first ridiculous point where you're saying like, oh no, this is really fantastic. You just got to develop an obsession, and then it'll all just
Yes.
be fine. Like there's Javier Bardem being like, oh, I'm really obsessed with being Blue Lagoon Man, and then like he's just like they're like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's
They're
how
like
you.
his agent's like prepping him before the meeting. It's like, oh, you just go into Universal. Like you just go in there. Do I have a meeting? No, just go in. Just go in
hop
there.
in.
Just say hi. I'm Javier, and they'll be
Yeah.
like, who? Javier Bardem, and then just say I have an obsession with being Blue Lagoon Man. He's
Yeah.
like, is that a code for something? He's like,
Bluey Laguno. So this is the photo. It's just Penelope Cruz. No, Angelina Jolie.
oh yes.
For all audio listeners, Oscar's looking at the photo in absolute puzzlement.
I'm seeing it. Yes,
I don't know why studios are so obsessed with creating shared universes and franchises, and also like who wants to see? No, Javier Bardem was supposed to be the Wolfman.
the Wolfman. That makes
Yes.
more sense.
Anyway,
Yes, this is terrible. Who is Johnny Depp? He's playing Johnny
I think
Depp.
Johnny Depp was supposed to be the Invisible Man.
Oh, well,
that was pre Amber Heard when he was briefly cancelled before, as it seems now, she beat him up.
yes. That's a bizarre trial.
It's also a link to Tim Burton, in case we need it.
Is there?
For the heist, if we ever get back to it.
Yeah, we may not.
Well,
we just talk about films.
Tim Burton and
Amber Heard were together?
No, Johnny Depp famously close.
Oh, they do get on quite well.
They
Who was Tim Burton married to for a long time?
Helena Bonham Carter.
Yes. But they're no longer together.
I think
they have children.
I think he might have been married to Winona Ryder.
As well.
Or was that Johnny Depp?
I think that was Johnny Depp.
I'm using them interchangeably.
Hmm.
Okay, that might have been Johnny Depp then.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure.
No, but he was married to Helena Bonham Carter.
Yes.
For a long while.
Yes, they have. They stay up the road from a friend of mine in London.
Really?
Yes, in a very large house.
One would imagine so.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if it's Helena Bonham Carter stays there or if it's Tim Burton. But certainly one of them with the children stays there.
London sounds more like Helena Bonham Carter.
It does, doesn't it?
Part of the world
where she lives on her Harry Potter retirement fund. Does quite well, doesn't she?
She's in the this is a film podcast now, by the way, in case you haven't noticed. She's in the Enola Holmes film. It's a Netflix exclusive, starring Henry Cavill as Sherlock Holmes and Millie Bobby Brown as Enola Holmes.
Oh,
the youngest Holmes sister.
The youngest Holmes ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, she's so young, she should actually be Holmes alone.
There's a lawsuit at the moment because
I love the way you just ignored that one. It was so bad, you just ignored it. Yeah.
Like one of the trailer plot points is literally that Enola is alone spelled backwards.
Oh.
So
it's on that level, is it?
It's a young adult film.
Okay.
Starring Henry Cavill as Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
There's a lawsuit now because
apropos, and we're back by Superman.
Henry Cavill shows emotions as Sherlock Holmes.
No, he doesn't.
No, only emotionless Sherlock Holmes is in the public domain. Emotional Sherlock Holmes is not. I'm not kidding. I'm not making this up.
What? Are you kidding me?
No, emotional Sherlock Holmes not in the public domain.
Who owns the rights to emotional Sherlock Holmes?
I don't know. Emotional Watson.
So, should we get back to trying to... I mean,
sure.
All we have to
Why
do is
not?
we just have to blag our way in, really. We'll just arrive there. We'll just start talking about film. We'll be like, listen, we're huge film nerds. Can we please have a look at the Superman costume?
So we're stealing the costume.
They'll be really good. They'll be like, yeah, you want to try it on? We'll be like, yep, I'll try it on. And then we just fly away. And that's it. This podcast has been solved. Let's go back.
Did you take it off?
No. Yeah.
Yeah, we did. You sure? Because it's not... No, we did take it off. Yeah. Okay. We'll okay. So we'll steal the costume. Just I think
we should steal the costume, but I think it might actually be as simple as that. Really. Well,
is it on the Universal lot?
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay,
good. I wasn't sure if that might have popped up. Okay, then we'll just steal the shiniest, glossiest latex suit.
Most
in the world.
ridiculous costume. I mean, what we'll do now is we'll take a little break.
Yeah.
We'll find out where exactly it is.
I think we've well earned our break.
We'll come back with more trivia.
I think we'll come back with a real heist thing.
A real heist?
Yeah, and have a bit of real trivia as well.
Yeah,
I mean real trivia.
Oh, a real heist. A real world heist.
Wasn't that what you had?
Yeah, I have a real world heist.
I've prepared something from our most famous listener. Okay, we'll be back. And welcome to the true crime segment of this fake crime podcast.
True crime, true crime, true crime, true crime.
Nothing truer than true crime. Also, I forgot to start the fucking camera. What's fucking wrong with me? Here I am.
So they came in the dead of night. No one saw them, and nobody knew they were there. Moments later, the Ninja Museum was missing a safe full of cash. Because under cover of darkness, thieves vanished with a 150 kilogram strongbox containing around $10,000 in admission fees.
unimpressive finish there.
It really is. But the Ninja Museum was
Ninja
robbed.
Museum is good.
Someone actually broke into the Ninja Museum.
Did you know where our cultural image of ninjas comes from?
No.
So in Kabuki theater,
Okay.
ninjas.
Well, there's me just unpacking my theater degrees worth of knowledge. I can be like, oh yeah, I know what kabuki theater is.
I got this off of YouTube.
Right.
And ninjas were kind of like stealth warriors and spies and special agents back in the real world.
Yeah.
So, obviously not dressed up fully in black.
Okay.
But the stagehands who were operating stuff behind the scenes,
Amazing.
they were. And sometimes if someone was supposed to be a ninja on stage and then immediately pop up, they were just dressed as a stagehand before that. So they had the all black costume to blend in with the scenery. They would just take it off and then start their role.
That's amazing. And then they
On
did the
stage.
kabuki theater.
Yeah.
Have you seen any kabuki theater?
No.
It's really weird.
I would
prefer the
imagine
ninjas.
so. It's I kind of think it's probably like commedia dell'arte, like the Italian wild gestures.
I think I wrote an essay about this once. I'll forward it to you at some point.
Our academic past. I would also like to forward, while we're in this weird true crime segment,
Yes.
forward greetings from Ashley Tudin, if you remember her.
Ashley Tudin?
Tudin, yeah, the cat lady.
The cat lady.
The cat lady. She pets social. They stole her social media brand from her.
They did. It actually happened.
They did. Yeah.
The bastards.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I should be offended or not.
No, Karl Lagerfeld's lackeys.
Yes, they did.
And
And whose side were we on?
in this case, Ashley's.
We're on Ashley's side.
I don't know.
Of course, we're on
I don't
Ashley's
know
side.
if we framed her for feline aside.
I think
in,
we
in
might
the
have.
actual heist. I don't remember. It got wild.
So does she want to come on the podcast?
I'll ask her.
Well, I mean, it's time to get revenge on Karl Lagerfeld again.
If you're casually listening, Ashley, get in touch. Yeah. On Karl Lagerfeld's ghost. No, Karl Lagerfeld apparently was very appreciative. But whoever's in charge of the social media brand now no longer is.
I appreciate that Karl Lagerfeld took the time to listen to our podcast and
Yes.
send his appreciations. Thanks, Karl.
Yes. And we'll be back with our fake crime. And we are back in 3, 2, 1. And we are back from our research break. Oh boy, man. 1997. Also, quick correction. It wasn't Universal, it's Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers?
Yeah, they own all the DC properties.
All right.
That's why it's in the Warner's archive.
Oh, that makes sense.
Spoilers for our research. I have something I'm reading off of comicbook.com. Superman Lives was a proposed Superman film project dating back to 1996. Kevin Smith was hired to write the script, though
So it was
producer...
Kevin Smith.
But producer John Peters reportedly already had a pretty clear idea of the film he wanted to be made. Peters' ideas included that Superman shouldn't fly, and that he should fight a giant spider in the film's third act, and also that the film's villain, Brainiac, should fight a polar bear at some point. Later, he suggested that the film should give Superman a space dog companion for merchandising reasons.
Okay,
So
wait,
you can see how
one
this didn't
second,
get
one
made.
second. So
Yeah.
just going back to the casting that we had earlier, Christopher Walken as Brainiac, or do you think that's going to be Kevin Spacey?
Kevin Spacey was too young at this point, I think, to be Brainiac.
So then it's Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming Chris Rock would
I'm
be
a
his
villain
sidekick
from-
space dog.
Space. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, no, I think Chris Rock might have been Jimmy Olsen.
Oh, yeah.
That would
The photography
sound
guy.
plausible. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
I mean, he was still younger than Nick Cage at that point, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Probably,
I'm sure he
yeah.
was. Yeah.
I mean, he still would be younger than he is now. But yeah.
So I just want to give you some idea of some of the money that was flown around here. So they spent $30 million developing the film, of which
That's a lot.
Of which Burton received $5 million.
For what?
Well, for developing the
everything
concept.
should be striped and set in suburbia.
And Nick Cage received 20.
How did he go bankrupt again? Spending it all on velociraptors.
He bought a Velociraptor. I mean, that's pretty out there.
But it wasn't a live velociraptor.
For
was
that
a
price,
fossil.
it better fucking be. And so that leaves, if I calculate correctly,
Yes.
$5 million for all the other people who did the actual work.
I think like 4.5 million went into the various costume iterations.
Probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like, so from what I gather, they made 4 or 5 versions of it. and they're all in the archives in California, Los
Sometimes,
Angeles.
sometimes they do get dragged out
Yeah,
for events like DC Daily, which seems to be like a YouTube program. I would imagine. I didn't look up
back in
yeah.
2018.
So DC Daily, reporting all things DC.
Yeah.
Well, Superman, one of the most famous DC superheroes. So good news is no superhero films coming out at the moment.
Oh, really? That's true.
Corona.
There's nothing coming
No,
out.
literally everything got delayed.
Oh, wait. Sorry, I've got one more bit
Yes.
of information that was very, very important. And it's about what they thought that Nick Cage could bring to the film. They thought that Nick Cage himself believed that he could reconceive the character, bring it back to life. And also the producers thought that Nick Cage... Where is this?
His hairpiece alone in this. If you're doing nothing else at the moment, please Google Nick Cage Superman.
Yes.
His hairpiece alone is marvelous and one of the least
really...
Superman things I've ever seen.
It's glorious.
He looks like a glam rock version of Superman.
Yeah, it's really incredible. Also, like a drag queen, though. Like it's quite fantastic. So the producers were under the impression that Cage could convince audiences that Superman came from outer space.
I think pretty much every Superman film just includes a scene in which Superman
Comes
is
from outer
transported from outer space to Earth, and through the magic of cinema, suspension of disbelief, the audience will just then assume, this
comes from outer space.
This sequence of images tells me he's from outer space.
But
I'll just believe it, even though he's very handsome man Henry Cavill.
But you don't understand. You don't understand that Nick Cage would be acting, right? He'd be playing the character of Superman, and at the same time showing people that he is not a normal person, but that he comes from outer space through his acting. Through his body, through his movements.
I, however, would argue one of the defining characteristics of Superman is that despite the fact that he comes from outer space, he was he was not born, but he was raised in Kansas.
Which is also one of the defining characteristics of Nick Cage, surprisingly.
God gracious me.
There's a lot of similarities between the two of them. It's fantastic. I mean, do yourself a favor. There's also a documentary about this. The making
The Death of Superman Lives.
The Death of Superman Lives. Yeah.
2015, 2016 documentary by John Schlepp.
I must admit, I've only seen bits and pieces of it now. It looks glorious. It looks like it's actually something that everyone needs to watch. And wow, my impression of Tim Burton and Nick Cage has changed. No, none of Nick Cage. He is exactly the way he is in his films. He is in this casting or in this costume screen test. But Tim Burton is a spineless, wishy-washy director who doesn't have anything to say to this project. No wonder he ended up huffing it and going off to direct Sleepy Hollow. Like, I would have left as well. Like, it's a...
So the one thing though about that just of fucked up things Tim Burton did. Who directed Nightmare Before Christmas?
Did he direct it?
No, he didn't.
What?
But it's called Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas because it's based on like a collection of images and designs that he created.
But he didn't direct it?
No, it was directed by Henry Selick, who also directed Coraline.
What? How did that happen?
He just directed it. Henry Selick was a director who worked in stop motion animation.
Okay.
And as Selick reports it, whenever there was a photo op on set, Tim Burton would just magically show up that day and be on all the pictures. And like, of course, when you think back and you go like, oh, it's Nightmare Before Christmas, it's a classic Burton film.
Yes.
But it's not.
That's incredible. He didn't direct the film.
I think he co-wrote the script and came up with the designs and everything else kind of like based on his drawings.
Next time I submit anything for writing, I'm going to insist that that's always my name before that.
Yeah.
It'll be like Oscar Brown's Titanic.
Oscar Brown's How Do I Rob This?
Yeah. Everything I do now. Like tomorrow morning, I make breakfast for my girlfriend. I'll be like, this is Oscar Brown's breakfast for the family.
Enjoy all these well powdered eggs.
Yeah.
Do you know what happens on September 5th, 2021?
Remember the 5th of September?
Yes. People will. Toxic fans will.
What happens?
All over the world.
Is it Superman Day? Please tell me there's a Superman Day.
It's not. There's a Superman celebration day though.
There is not a
There
Superman
is.
celebration day.
There
They really shouldn't be.
It's a minor film festival. Like,
Is it like May the 4th be with you?
I would imagine so. Yes.
But I mean that at least. I mean from the name, it's funny.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And the Superman one, how does that
No,
work?
that's not Superman
Super
celebration.
September?
It's not. No, it's So have you ever realized that throughout the past few years, toxic, verbally violent fans tend to get what they want by just bullying studios, as proven by the rise of Skywalker.
What?
Have you seen it?
Yes.
It's just essentially it's just a reaction to the backlash received by The Last Jedi.
Because people were so upset about it.
Your fans didn't like. I mean, the hardcore fans didn't like it because it didn't star a white man as the hero.
You mean like the 5 guys with Twitter accounts who watched all
But
the movies?
They were very loud though. So that's why they made Rise of Skywalker the way they did.
Do they still have their own ideas, or do they just go by the feedback they get from fanboys?
So at this point, we're going to find out on September 5th, 2021.
That's a long time away. September 5th, 2021.
Yeah, that's when they'll release, when Warner Brothers will release to their own streaming service, HBO Max, will release Justice League, a film that you might have seen in cinemas when it originally released in, I want to say 2017, 2018 maybe. I want to say 2017. Justice League. Originally directed by Zack Snyder, who also directed Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. After
you mean the film from the comic book?
Yes.
But that film was okay.
Ish.
But it was like niche-y.
It was...
It had like Rorschach Man.
Oh no, that's Watchmen.
Oh, that's Watchmen. Oh,
that was also directed by Zack Snyder, though.
But that was okay.
That was actually pretty good, I would say.
Yeah, but I didn't watch anything else.
So
what is it? Like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
No.
What's it called?
It's equally bad. Justice League.
I hate superhero movies.
Yeah, fair enough.
I really have I mentioned this before?
No.
I really hate them.
So let me get into this a bit. Zack Snyder directed Man of Steel, which was okay.
With Henry Cavill.
It was yeah.
Right.
Henry Cavill, the mouse.
Henry the Weevil.
He's a big man and very handsome.
Is he though?
Yeah.
I mean, is he that big? That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, his biceps could wrap around the two.
I've heard from a fairly reliable source that he drives on the other side of the subway. He bats for the other team.
Maybe.
He films backwards.
Look, he's handsome enough he could turn any man.
Fair enough. I mean, he is from outer space as well.
Yeah. So anyway,
but he's not a very good actor. I mean, I've only seen the highlights reel of these films. The Superman. What are those called? Adverts. Trailers. The trailers. The
highlights reel.
The highlights reel. Yeah, I watched the match of the day with him.
He's absolutely serviceable. He doesn't get much to do, but
no. I mean, but does he?
He's great in Mission Impossible 6.
Sorry, no, I stopped watching after the third one.
They only get good after the third one.
No, I'm out.
Anyway,
do you know what was another great movie from the 90s?
Yes.
Broken Arrow.
Oh, absolutely not.
It was a great movie.
It's horrible. It's also
John Woo,
wonderful.
It was a wonderful movie.
Terrible. Terrible. Peak 90s. A stealth bomber and
it was
a nuclear
great.
bomb.
Wow.
Anyway,
so going back to
so
Henry Cavill.
funnily enough, so Henry Cavill and Mission Impossible 6 leads us to Justice League. So Man of Steel.
Yes.
Mixed reviews, but everyone was like, it's an okay Superman film. Batman v Superman, highly divisive.
Right.
Didn't directed by Zack Snyder. It's a terrible film.
Is that the one where you've got the Chin as Batman?
Yeah. If by the Chin you refer to Ben Affleck.
Yes.
Batfleck. Terrible movie. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Fans will defend it to the death, saying that everyone who doesn't like it just doesn't get the underlying theme. It's one of those things that on YouTube is constantly defended as, well, it's secretly brilliant, yes, but it's overtly bad.
Oh, dear.
After that, he had already started filming on Justice League.
Okay.
Warner Brothers wanted to let him go at this point.
Right.
Rumors have it. Zack Snyder's daughter tragically committed suicide.
Yes.
He took time off and Warner Brothers hired Joss Whedon, who directed the first 2 Avengers films.
Are you suggesting That Warner Brothers
No.
killed his daughter?
No.
Okay.
But they were like, okay, like this is good enough reason
Yeah.
to just do it now. Get
Okay.
it over with.
Right.
He at this point had wrapped filming on Justice League. Pretty much. Doing a couple of reshoots, as in every Hollywood blockbuster, like 10
Which one was
20%
Justice
scenes.
League again?
The one with Superman, The Flash, Batman, Aquaman. All of them. Wonder Woman. Cyborg.
Was it good?
No.
Okay.
So here's the thing.
That sounds like a lot of characters in one movie.
Joss Whedon took over.
Joss Whedon.
Who
Yes.
famously known for directing big ensemble casts, which is why he was hired for the Avengers in the first place. Because like before that, he had directed like one minor Hollywood film, Serenity. Often for
Yeah, of course,
show
because
Firefly.
he did Firefly. I mean, Firefly was great.
Serenity also a great film.
Yeah.
So big ensemble casts, and Justice League is in tone so crucially mismatched, because you can clearly see which scenes were directed by Joss Whedon because they are funny and witty dialogue scenes.
Right.
I mean, as witty as you can make them by writing them in 3 days.
Yes.
And Zack Snyder has like this dark, serious, super somber tone.
Right.
It does not match at all. You can clearly tell which scene was directed by which director. Adding to that, because they had to reshoot so much and they wouldn't increase the budget, that all went... The VFX in this film are terrible. It's a $300+ million film. The visual effects look stunningly bad. Occasionally,
So
like
it's
in a
just a
student film.
disaster.
Yes. Adding to that, Henry Cavill at this point in time was shooting for Mission Impossible 6, for which he had to sport a mustache.
No.
Hang on. Hold on to your drink. So contractually obliged to do reshoots for Justice League if that were to pop up. Warner Brothers went to Paramount. They were like, we're just going to borrow Henry Cavill for like a week or two. I'm like, yeah, sure, do that. They're like, but he needs to get rid of the mustache. Paramount was like, oh, no. Absolutely not. He will keep the mustache. And Warner Brothers at this point, they had sort of created visual effects of how they could then, for Paramount, at their own expense, replace Henry Cavill's mustache with a digital mustache. And we're like, this is looking pretty good.
There's an app for that on Instagram.
Yeah, but Paramount was like, no, absolutely not. He will keep the mustache. So they digitally had to remove the mustache
From
Henry Cavill's face.
how much reshooting did he have to do? Only close-up shots. Like
Judging by the amount of uncanny valley upper lip in this film, all of his scenes were reshot. It is bizarre, worth watching for that alone if ever you want to see a freaky upper lip. So anyway,
Is there any footage of him doing Superman with
fortunately not.
with the mustache on?
Unfortunately not.
That would be worth it.
Yes. Even so, here's the thing. In Man of Steel, he just had a full beard. They could have gone like, okay, well, he
We'll just
died
give him a full beard.
in his grave. He grew a full beard. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Just give him that. And then at the end, it's trimmed off and they replace his face digitally for one scene. Anyway, I'm not here to solve Warner Brothers'
So where
problems.
did the fanboys come in?
So for years, they campaigned on the slogan...
For
release-
years. I mean, when did this come out? 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
2017.
So they've been going on for
Yeah.
3 years.
Since it was released and since it had such mixed reviews, they were like, okay, first of all, the campaign was, okay, this film was bad. It's going to tank at the box office.
Right.
What all DC fans have to do is for the 7 superheroes in it, watch the film 7 times in cinemas. To support Warner Brothers, nothing of this makes sense. Fortnite tries to frame Apple for charging 30% off of in-game purchases. It's ridiculous. None of these companies is your friend. They all hate you. You, the consumer. We're all just corporate toys.
There's a lot of
It's
anger
ridiculous.
here.
People are just people are blindly
We're gonna have
loyal.
to take a break.
Blindly loyal. And we're back from our anger break. Anyway, so on September 5th, after a fanboy campaign, which was spearheaded by toxic Justice League fans, the Snyder Cut will be released.
The Snyder Cut.
Yes, Warner Brothers gave an extra, I want to say 40 million was what I heard, to Zack Snyder.
20 million of which went directly to Nick Cage.
Complete.
Just because,
it's still in his contract.
It's contractually obliged. Yeah. Every time they do Superman, they have to pay him 20 million.
The original Superman.
Yeah.
To complete the project, which will now be a 4-hour-long feature.
It will not.
It will 100% be... Zack Snyder's films tend to come in long, but
It will not
He
be.
uses-
That'll be the first. That'll be the longest film ever made.
To quote the great Garth Marenghi, all our episodes would come in short, so we filmed them all in slow motion, just to drag things out a bit. And it's one of the selling points of HBO Max, actually.
Like they really went to the max.
Absolutely.
So it's really going to be a 4-hour film.
It's really going to be a 4-hour film. And I believe, if anything, it's going to be tonally consistent, as all Zack Snyder films are, but still bad.
Well, but there's going to be a lot of it.
Oh, yeah.
Do you
4 1-hour episodes.
Would it be worth? Would
Yes.
you enjoy downloading it and re-editing it just to make it shorter, like turn it into like a strong 72-minute candidate?
So the thing is, there's also like a supercut of Batman v Superman, which is like 3 hours or 3.5 hours long.
That's so much footage.
It's still not a cohesive narrative. Or it's kind of like I don't know what these DC films bungle up with all their editing. There's also this Suicide Squad.
Yes, I saw that.
Where they just, we'll just have Jared Leto improvise hours and hours of footage and see how it comes together. Well, it doesn't. It doesn't come together. Like that's it. Why? How?
Who writes these films?
No one, apparently. So anyway, that's going to be released, and I believe in anticipation of that, that will be a good opportunity to get all the Superman costumes from archive.
Absolutely. There we go.
Just you. It's been a smooth 30-minute segue.
Okay, so that would be, they would take them all out of archive, but
Yeah.
that would only be on September 5th, 2021?
Well, I mean, we'll still be in lockdown until then.
Okay, so you reckon that's not going to be an
No,
issue?
we'll just hang in and chill for a bit.
So you're saying lockdown will go until the...
September 4th, 2021, and then we'll be all out of lockdown. No one will get
Immediately?
HBO Max. Yes.
Immediately.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
It's just Corona is one of those things. It's just going to disappear one day.
Well,
it's out.
we'll all suddenly wake up and automatically have been injected with the antidote.
Yeah,
The antidote. I'm calling it the antidote.
Bill Gates' nanobots or whatever people think.
Yes. I mean, yeah.
Just can't,
Apple and Windows team up to automatically inject the virus into us. I mean, not the virus, the antidote, the
antidote.
firewall,
The new virus.
the new virus, which takes care of the old virus. And
Like,
then
you
that'll
gotta
be
live
good.
with some viruses.
Yeah,
Viri.
yeah. Well, that's the way it works.
Okay. Anyway.
But yes, I probably agree. The best way of getting them to bring it out for us is
Just
exactly
get them
that.
to bring it out
Just
for
bring it
us.
on, yeah. And do you think we could get one of the? You know what would be wonderful if we could get all the actors who have played Superman together.
Is Christopher Reeve still alive?
I
Or
don't
has
know.
he recently
actually.
passed away?
I think he has passed away.
Yeah.
So he will be there in spirit.
Brenton Routh, certainly available. He was Superman in Superman Returns. He reprised his DC role in the terrible CW show Superheroes of Tomorrow, whatever it's called.
What about did you watch that the Dark Superman, the child one from, I don't know, last year or the year before, where it's like it's like a young boy.
Yeah, it's
a Superman story,
yeah,
but
yeah,
basically
yeah.
he's a bad Superman, not
what
a
was
good
it
Superman.
called? It was produced by James Gunn.
Yeah,
That I know.
I actually quite
his
enjoyed
name
it because
front
it
and
was
center.
quite.
Yeah, but then again, you have to have seen Superman in order to
understand that
culturally
film.
absorb
Yes,
that.
that's
Yeah,
true.
and it's also from the images of the highlight reel, which I've
Yes,
seen.
yes.
It's highly derivative of Man of Steel.
It's entirely possible they used the same set. But would we invite the little child? Because, I mean, he played Superman, technically.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, we should also invite the guy who plays Homelander then.
Oh, yeah. Mm.
Black Prez
The new-
had his song on the Boys trailer, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, is he huge now?
Yeah, I think so.
That's pretty cool.
Right?
Yeah, we should have him back on, or do you think he will no longer come on our
it's
show
huge,
anymore? Yeah,
we can get him.
we can get
him over here.
We'll just get him at the
We just
Lidl.
need to figure out how to record for 3 people without microphone setup, because this is
is
no
not
longer.
really
I'm
working.
losing my shit. This is no longer sustainable.
I
Anyway.
understand. Maybe we should go into a podcast studio.
Yeah, that's the next step. Get a listener first, and then
Get one listener. Get to the
No,
studio.
but we have a few listeners. We know who you are. We see the Spotify metrics. Don't try and hide.
We know your name.
Yeah, we know you're listening. No, that's not how it works. But get in touch if you like. Anyway,
I think actually we could round this episode off here.
Yeah.
We've done.
I think we have to because we are.
There's a lot of content in here. There's a lot of. It's very dense.
If there's one word I hate, it's content. I'm so sick and tired of
I know.
fucking content.
Before we have to take another break again, and you go on another, and I do want to let you
the
out
trunks.
of the restraining jacket at some point this evening.
J.J. Abrams was also supposed to direct a Superman film at some point.
Was he?
Unbeknownst to me, though, whoever was supposed to play Superman in that.
Okay, then to round this off,
Yes.
your dream casting of a Superman film, including a director.
Including a director.
Yes.
Um.
And you have to do one of the roles.
Okay, so just a quick summary before we do that.
Yes.
And I'm just paddling for time. We'll get DC to bring it out
Yes,
for a huge press event.
correct. All the old Superman will be there.
Yes, we'll introduce the suits for our podcast.
Absolutely.
Obviously, try them on
Yeah.
because we have to, and just run out.
Just leave. Yeah, one. I mean, we'll as everyone's up there, and then we'll have all the Supermen, and they like being, hey, they'll be happy.
Oh, should we get the Superman men in then as surprise guests?
Yeah, they come in as surprise, and then they're literally the distraction. And Nick Cage is going to be thrilled to be there because he is. I mean, he'll get another 20 million.
No. We'll give him 500 in cash, but he'll still come.
Which will be enough. Yeah, he'll get another tattoo. And then off we'll go. We'll just leave with all of the Superman costumes.
So we'll just stack them on top of each other like Joey in that Friends episode.
That's the one. And and people will. There'll be enough fanboys who will buy them. We'll be able to create a bidding war.
Another Superman we can also easily get, by the way, is the TV Superman of Lois and Clark.
Ooh.
Dean Cain, now famous conservative nutcase.
Yes. This is going to be a fun event.
Oh, man. Yeah,
it's going to be great. What's it? I have to check my diary, but that
September
should be,
5th, 2021.
Yeah, it should be okay. Is that a Wednesday?
Save the date.
It's a Wednesday, so we'll have to take a week off work.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Okay, so we'll just casually walk out in our shiny suits.
Yep.
And if anything happens, should we get pursued, I suggest instead of getting powder, which obviously is the best choice for your balls, because it keeps them nice and dry, we'll get baby lotion.
And we'll just
spread it all over our already shiny bodies.
And we'll flutch away. They'll try and grab us, but we'll be gone.
Yeah.
Just
there's no stopping us.
We don't need superpowers when you've got baby powder. I mean baby lotion.
What happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? We'll find out because we will be absolutely unstoppable. Okay, so my Superman cast, including a director.
And you have to be in one of the roles or the director.
That's a tricky one. I would say, who's a good Superman? Who's very bland? You know what? No, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go straight controversial.
Okay.
Fuck everyone off. I just today read an interview with John Boyega.
Ooh.
And not only is he black,
yes,
which everyone will hate.
Yes.
He's also British.
Yes.
Which also everyone will hate.
That's true.
But they can't say that because they have to go for the racism.
But he'd be going with a British accent.
Yeah. Of course.
Okay.
Raised in Kansas, but no, but he can do American. He did American for Star Wars.
Yeah.
He had like a broad American accent. Like John Boyega, he's good.
Yeah.
He's a good age bracket.
As a Superman?
Yeah.
Who would be his Lois Lane?
Good enough actor. Who would be a good Lois Lane? Who's a young actress? You know what? Let's not cast an actress. I'm just going to cast a singer.
A singer?
I'm casting Billie Eilish. I've never heard one of her songs, but I'd be keen to. So I think casting her as Lois Lane would be a good choice.
Wow.
So next up we have...
I'm casting Trump as the villain.
Okay. But as himself?
As himself, yeah. Actually, but I would just tell him he plays a corporate megalomaniac man who wants to try and take over the world.
You know he'll still be president whenever we cast our directors.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. But he won't notice. Like he'll believe that this man is evil, but he'll play himself. So he's definitely in my evil. He's playing my villain.
I would go with Lex Luthor. Bald guy. Who's a famous bald actor? Sandra Bullock.
Sandra
I'll
Bullock
get
is
Sandra.
bald?
Sandra, she will be.
She
Liz.
will be
She
bald.
had short hair for Gravity.
Okay.
So it's not a long.
Okay.
It's not a long stretch
Yeah,
to go completely
Sandra
bald.
Bullock, she'll be so happy that she can come back to
Yeah.
finish off this.
How do we
this
get
film.
Nick Cage into this?
How
How do we drag him in? First AD.
Yes,
Key
or
grip.
actually, in my film,
Yeah.
he is playing Superman in an Amdram production. That's just like a quick scene in the movie, and he's in that. He's Superman in that Amdram production.
Head of the newspaper. I want to say Rick Perry.
Ooh, okay, interesting.
For me is Mike Myers.
Bring him back in a big way.
Yeah.
I like that.
Superman's dad is Brendan Fraser.
Thanks for bringing Brendan back in. Who's directing this
Let's
whole
get
thing?
them all in.
What about Taika?
Nah, he's already doing Thor.
Oh, okay. So you want someone more left field?
Who's a director who's completely burnt by society? Abrams, pretty much.
Yeah, or what's his name? Hacksaw Ridge. Braveheart.
Clint Eastwood.
No.
Oh.
Yes.
Whoa.
I don't know why his name's Mel Gibson. We'll get Mel
Yes.
Gibson to direct it.
Oh.
It would be a hell of a movie.
Oh,
It really would
God. Yeah.
be. Yeah.
Any
pretty good.
Jimmy Olsen's left?
Yeah, it could be quite fun. I would watch that movie.
Yes.
I would still throw in the guy who plays a young Darth Vader.
Hayden Christensen.
Not Hayden Christensen. I mean
The
in
younger
recent-
Jake Lloyd.
No. Maybe see. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. In the most recent films that have come out now.
The new Darth Vader.
Yeah, the guy with the
That's
black
his
hair.
name.
What's his name?
Yeah, Adam Driver.
Adam Driver
Hymns and Girls.
as Superman.
Yeah.
I think I could work with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because emotional Superman's not in the public domain. So, we could make that happen.
It's good. I think that's a dream film. What do we call a film and this podcast?
Just S.
Just S. S Bob.
Just S. It'll be not just the letter S. It'll be just S.
Yeah, I know. The film or the podcast? It doesn't matter. Look, let's just wrap this up. I'm losing my shit again.
My name's Oscar Brown. Thank you very much. Good night.
It's too loud. It's way too loud. My name's Essen Weisbach. Fuck. Why do I always say that my social media handle is my name? My social media handle is not my name. Fuck social media. Fuck everyone on it. Fuck the internet.
Right, that's it. Back in your vest.
God, no, I refuse to be
That's it.
I refuse
That's
to be
it.
signed.
No,
I'm
no,
Sebastian. You
we
can
put
find
him
me at SM Weisbach. You can just get your dirty hands off the space bar. This man is at the Oscar Brown everywhere. We are at How Do I Rob This on all social medias. We are How Do I Rob This on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on Deezer, on Weezer, wherever you listen to podcasts, we are at How Do I Rob This. We're also on YouTube. If you just watch the YouTube video, it's kind of vaguely funny if you want to see our dumb faces.
That's it. You're going back in your cage.
Oh, you've pressed the button. The disrespect, the absolute disrespect on this madman.
I think the highlight of this episode for me is